Today's topic is diverticulosis diverticulitis. What it is, how it can impact your health, and if there are any diet remedies for diverticulosis diverticulitis. What is it? Diverticulosis, you can see the word up there, is a condition by which going through your GI tract, you have the intestinal walls, and sometimes the muscles get weak in those walls, and sometimes there's a lot of built-up pressure, which will force an outpocketing and or a bulging. And that bulging that protrudes is called the diverticula. Now, you can have several protrusions throughout your GI tract, but it's very common, usually in the large intestine region. So when we talk about digestion, we start in the mouth, then it goes down the esophagus, then into the stomach, then into the small intestine, and then into the large intestine and out the rectum. We want those muscular contractions that we call peristalsis to push our food through the GI tract and out the rectum. We know, and I was reading in the Cleveland Clinic report, that 30% of adults in the US older than 50 have diverticulosis. And some of them don't even know that they have it. It's asymptomatic. Well, asymptomatic to them. Why do I say that? Because a lot of the issues that they have, everybody has those issues. Constipation, diarrhea, and gas, bloating. Everybody has those. We think nothing of it and we keep on eating. And all we do is we'll run to the drugstore, get a pharmaceutical, take care of that and keep it moving. Well, that could be symptoms that you have this condition, diverticulosis. Evidence suggests that 50% over the age of 60 have this condition, diverticulosis, and 75% over the age of 80 have this same condition of diverticulosis. So it is pretty common, but we don't see that in some other countries like Africa and Asia, where they're more active and they don't have the standard Western diet. And when I say the Western diet, that is a diet that's high in animal fat, a lot of highly processed. So let's talk about the diet remedy for diverticulosis. And that remedy is a high fiber diet. For a high fiber diet, fiber only comes from plant foods. I go more into detail about a dietary fiber diet in the show, and I'll have that link for you so you can see that show. It's a cooking show in the beginning, but I have an after party segment and I talk more in detail about dietary fiber. But simplistically, again, it's a plant-based diet. So where is that? So fiber comes from your legumes. That's beans, peas, lentils, plenty of that. Good for you. Fiber comes from nuts, cashews, almonds, Brazil nuts, peanuts. They're not nuts, but we call them nuts. Peanuts, they're more of peanuts are really more of a legume. And fiber comes from seeds. Now, there could be some problems with seeds if you have diverticulosis. So you will know if you have some discomfort after eating certain seeds, I would avoid those. You can get your dietary fiber are your vegetables. All your vegetables are a good source of dietary fiber, but there may be some vegetables that could be problematic for you, like okra with the seeds in them, and or maybe corn could be a problem for you. So those particular foods I would avoid. But other than that, you want to have plenty of vegetables, 3 to 5 servings. 5 servings or more of your vegetables is wonderful. Whenever we increase our dietary fiber, you must increase the water with it. Fiber and water go together like peanut butter and jelly. So more fiber, more water. Just want you to make sure that that's a part of your plan and make gradual changes so that you're not getting uncomfortable or have any discomfort or anything like that. Another source of fiber are your fruits. Now, you may have some issues with the skin. It depends. You may have some issues with fruits that have seeds, like strawberry. Those little seeds, they look harmless, but they could be an issue for you. And Blackberries with the seeds could be an issue for you. For the most part, there's plenty. Apples, pears, peaches, mangoes, there are plenty, bananas, there are plenty of fruits that would not be an issue for you and would serve you well. 2 to 4 servings or more, but at least 2 to 4 servings or more of your fruits. Now, whole grains. Whole grains, the whole grain, not a lot of processed foods. We're trying to eat more fresh, maybe frozen if it's just that food, water and maybe salt or some preservative, but not a whole laundry list of so many preservatives. We want to start rolling back and reducing our amount of eating so many processed foods. It's convenient, it tastes good, someone made it for you. All you have to do is stick it in the microwave and keep it moving. But so much of that is not the healthiest choice for us. Oats, corn, again, may be a problem for you. Cornmeal you can do, and you can make products out of cornmeal. Brown rice versus white rice is more of a whole grain for you. And bulgur and quinoa, these are whole grains. So you want to make sure you include that. Whole wheat, unless you have a sensitivity with gluten, whole wheat. Increasing your dietary fiber, that's what we want to do for that diverticulosis. Diverticulitis, it's a whole different ball game. It's the complete opposite. You have inflammation, you have infection. We don't want a high fiber diet. We don't want anything that's going to aggravate that condition. Diverticulitis, I just want to cover the foods primarily that you need to avoid. I mainly want to do that, and this is not an exhaustive list, but at least it will give you some guidance. So now, some of the foods that you need to avoid if you have diverticulitis. In meat and meat alternates, you need to avoid fried poultry or meats, cold cuts, sardines, fried eggs, and peanut butter. In the milk category, you need to avoid milk drinks or yogurt containing whole fruits or berries, seeds or skins, or strongly flavored cheeses like Roquefort cheese or blue cheese. In the fruit and vegetable category, you need to avoid berries, avocado, prune juice, coconut, raw fruits, except those listed, legumes, raw vegetables, and other vegetables except those listed. So now I will talk about some of the fruits and the vegetables that you can have if you're suffering with diverticulitis. And those foods are cooked or canned fruits without seeds and skins, ripe bananas, orange sections, grapefruit sections, all fruit juice, cooked asparagus tips, beets, broccoli, carrots, green beans, tomato, and these are cooked, juice, whack beans, winter squash, strained peas, spinach, summer squash, or potatoes. Those fruits and vegetables you can if you prepare it the way I've mentioned. Now, grains. What grains do you need to avoid if you're suffering with diverticulitis? And that would be whole grain breads and cereals, or those containing nuts, brands, or seeds, fried breads such as donuts. Now you can have refined, enriched white bread, plain muffins or rolls, white flour crackers, saltines, Melba toast, or Zwieback, refined, ready to eat or cooked cereals, noodles, macaroni, spaghetti, strained oatmeal. And that's just during the time when you're having that flare-up or that inflammation, or you have diverticulitis, that those other products or whole grain, other grain foods that I mentioned would be okay for you during this period. So you want to be mindful of that. The diets are completely different. The conditions, diverticulosis versus diverticulitis. And DasCafe, please subscribe, because I want you to be a part of the community. I want you to be a regular guest in our cafe, and we always would serve to you good living. That's what it's all about. On Wednesdays, we have the cooking show, Wednesday evenings, and on Thursdays, I will be posting what I call the Afterparty, where I talk a little bit more about diet and health. Channel, I'll have it there. go to my YouTube channel, please subscribe, and or under this video that you're watching, you will see subscribe in black and white. Just click on it or click on in the corner that YouTube. You'll see that it's real small, but you can click on that and you can subscribe to my channel that way. So there's so many ways to subscribe, and we want you to be here and we want you to share me with your family and friends. Well, I'm Das, I'm out, but I will see you next show. The educational advice that I'm giving to you on this show does not take the place of your health practitioners' medical therapies that they have outlined for you.